It's not good for them to come back, especially if it's murder, suicide, kind of send them to the light and heal. It's tragic that this happened,
Yeah.
but yeah, and kind of, but is their importance that they want to come back, that they want to,
Like they have a message or something, is that
Yeah.
what you mean? Yeah.
I've had that come in dreams from messages of dead people that will come in. One was a girlfriend, and I happened to see her husband at one of the local stores, and I get this like kick. And I went up to him and talked to him, and he just started crying. He said, I always wondered about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's like, okay, I have this message. It's like really odd, but okay, I'm the
Yeah.
the vessel.
Yeah.
And take it as that, not as like.
Yeah, some people are nervous about trying the dowsing rods, especially when you say something and they're moving and they realize they're not moving them.
It's like, go away, not.
Yeah, they're like, oh no. So we're like, I gotta take these back.
Or I know things.
Yeah.
Like it was in my client's house, and I said, you have to check that light.
Yeah.
And he did, and the paper, cardboard was still in there. And he's like, how did you know? I didn't, but it was, just
got a
told
sense
you
about
need
it.
to check
Yeah.
it, not knowing that there was something danger going on. It was just, again, that be the conduit to message.
Do you see anything or sense anything here?
Hmm?
Are you seeing anything here? No, not yet. I don't know.
Second guessing myself. I could.
I'm trying to. The heat's affecting me. I'm not having a very good day trying to pick up chairs. Yeah, you're trying to dowsing rods now?
Test them out.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and I know one time a client, her diamond fell out.
Was her ring or a necklace? What was it falling out?
And so I was doing the mental dowsing, and it said she lost it on the ski slopes. And I said, no, I can't check there. Remove it from there where I could find it. Sure enough, I found it.
Yeah.
And my dowsing folks said they thought that was incredible.
Well, that's amazing.
Why not? Why can't you ask to be moved in a better situation where
Yeah.
you find it?
Yeah.
That's just my pocket.
Yeah, that's fine. I figure, well, people can sit down or something. You getting anything?
like an 1850s railroad was what came up.
Okay. Yeah, like around the, I'm wondering, like, maybe,
It was like the narrow lapels, and it looked dusty. It was more grayish towards, was it dark black? And it looked leathery. My dowsing says yes, the nap.
I also have some of these. Yeah, I think I like my other phone. These, you turn them on, and if no one that you can see is touching it and they light up, that means the ghost is making it go off. And
Is that something that attracts them, or that it just
it's just something, you know, they
lights up?
they light them up, and it's like letting us know that they're here, kind of a thing. Right now they're lit up both. I don't know, I'm not touching those two. So they're making it light up. Those, okay. There was one time they were making them all light up all at once. They're called they're cat balls. Like me. There. They're definitely here because I didn't touch them. I only touched the ones I was putting down. I didn't touch the other ones. Sadly, well, my other phone had the phone apps, the Ghost Tube and the SLS. And
So is that like you've got it up, like could possibly if a ghost wanted to be seen or known, you'd see something on the screen?
no, that's not how it works. Do you have a smartphone or no?
No.
No. Yeah. Well, I don't know what happened. I guess. I mean, I was sure that I put my phone somewhere. I bet I have to look at my things better. But yeah, so we have the cat balls set up. Basically, see, they're going off right now with no one touching them. The cat balls are going off. I have headphones, spirit box, eye mask, voice recorder, EMF meters. And the hats are $6 per hat. I will have to pay shipping, but I usually order 2 at a time, and I've got 3 right now. And there are stickers. Yeah, there's stickers in here where the pens are. If you want any stickers.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
So it can glow in the dark.
I don't think they glow in the dark, but yeah. So I've got this thing that I put together with things I printed off the internet. And there's a Jewish prayer. Lay us down, unity of being, our divinity and peace, and raise up our King to the goodness of life and peace. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with good counsel before your presence, and save us speedily for the sake of Hashem, for the sake of your name. And when I did a search online about things to read or
Okay.
or
to
whatever
bring
for
this-
for like if you're encountering something paranormal and that sort of thing. It said to read Psalm
They want to know
Psalm
if they're
91.
worthy enough to come out, maybe. Now,
Yeah.
do these things like beep or, make a noise when they come in contact with?
This just lights up,
Okay.
and if this is an EMF meter, and it's explained in this
Yeah.
printout. And so basically, like say if I put it near the laptop, it'll light up a bit, but that's because it's an electronic device. But if you go somewhere else and it's not a refrigerator, or if it's not a refrigerator or something like that, then if it lights up, the higher it goes, like say orange or red, then that definitely is supposed to mean that there's a possibility of a spirit.
So
there.
that's something you would just go around.
Yeah, you walk
Yeah.
around, and this is a temperature meter, and
Oh, okay. So
let me
it
see,
would
you turn
increase.
it on.
So you could actually use a stud finder kind of thing or a thermometer that you use your meats.
Well, I don't know. Depends on how your meat thermometer is, if it's
Yeah,
digital or what. But come on here. Okay, it's 77, and like say wherever when you press the button, see there's a red light. Look over there at the chair. There's a red light. So wherever you're pointing it, like say if it goes down, if the temperature goes down a bit, then that could also mean that there's some type of a spirit there.
By what degree would it go lower?
I don't really know that. I think it has to go at least like 5 degrees lower. But,
And it's
right
not
now.
higher for picking up? I would think they'd be.
No, because
Yeah.
when like if there's a ghost or usually it is a cold spot. Like say if you feel coldness go through you sometimes, that could be. And right now it's just 76, 75, 77. And so like if we walked around the room using this, then wherever it would be lower enough, then that would
So
be a
maybe I'll
possibility of a
try
cold
that
spot
one on
too.
the chair. Let me see if could have moved by then, but
Yeah. You have to press the button in the front. Yeah, like
Is
a
it-
gun. Yeah, that one.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, like a gun. And then, so I have a spirit box as well, but not very good at figuring the stuff out that it picks up. You're not getting anything?
Pandora's box.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says do not open, and when you open,
Humans will.
when you open it, it says, uh-oh, you let the ghost out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Parting favors.
See, they're going off right now, and none of us touched it.
And so that means there could be ghost activity?
Yeah, right there, where they're going off, because neither one of us touched it. We weren't near it.
Because I didn't get any temperature, significant lowering of temperature. I did feel a coolness, but it didn't register as any,
As anything.
yeah.
Yeah. But like
It was just
right
other
there,
than,
I mean,
a nice cool breeze and it's
yeah,
hot.
the only way for them to light up though is for something to touch them. So maybe while
So
you're over,
does that mean the ghost is just kind of floating around and that
moving
comes
around,
closer to it?
moving around and doing whatever
Teaser
it wants.
ghost.
Yeah, there was one time that I was here and it said, "Sit with me," and like sometimes when I come to the box room, it says, "Oh, I remember you," and stuff. And there was one time I was wearing a green dress. I said, "What's my favorite color?" And it said green, and I was like, "Oh, well, I said, well, something or other," and it said, "Obviously." I was like, "How could you tell?" And I said, "Well, I guess I'm wearing green." So, and it said, "Obviously."
So they kind of sound like they want human.
Yeah, and oh, see, nobody touched them.
Okay.
And they're lighting up again. It's probably not catching them all lighting up, but anyways. Yeah, but, so I usually go, the first time that I came here doing this, using the phone app in the dowsing rods, I learned that somebody had drowned. And I've been trying to figure out who was it. And it was not an accident. Somebody made them drown, and they knew who it was, but I haven't figured it out. And I was asking a lot of questions last time I was here, and it was saying, kind of like, "What's your problem? Leave me alone," kind of a thing. Why do you need to know and stuff it was saying.
Yeah.
And
So the ghosts here, are they like from anywhere, or are they previous people that lived in the homes?
well,
or-
the building used to be a jail and a courthouse.
Oh, goody,
So-
yeah.
So in the basement, there's a bunch of jail cells, and so it could be anybody that's here that's a ghost. Could be a criminal. They could be somebody that was murdered. It could have been who knows what. And I'm not sure. I mean, my understanding is that some ghosts are locked. They're trapped in a room or a house, but others can move around, go places. And so some of them are from that time in history, but it was also a library starting, I don't know, I think the
Kind of second guessing what they did.
well, anybody could come into the library, and then even before it was a jail and that sort of thing, who owned the property before that,
Yeah, I imagine, the horse carriages that came through in the main route and cowboy type things and swathing people. I know, in dowsing, we worked with, it was murder-suicide, and the husband that murdered his wife, I think it was in that scenario.
Right.
That we sent him to the light because he, felt bad and guilty and stuff and everything. And
Right.
it kind of to cleanse us, allow him that freedom instead of staying blocked here
Right.
and not knowing. I don't think he wanted to cause problems,
Right.
but he wasn't happy.
So are you saying that you have used the dowsing to help solve things?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
and
met
it-
with a group and worked with,
Right. And so was that in Vermont?
yes.
Right.
Yeah, they had a dowsing group in Rutland, Vermont for many years,
Oh, really?
decades. And the main honcho gal that got everything organized passed. And so it kind of filtered out. It was the one with the they would every year have a big celebration with dowsing.
I don't know, I never heard of it. So,
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what year it was.
John's something, yeah. So, yeah, and we would meet in the, banks, and then we ended up meeting in the meeting room at the Rutland City Police.
Oh, yeah. And that's where you were helping with the
That's where
cases?
we met and
Yeah.
chatted things, anything dowsing and stuff, met with dowsing-like people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been keeping in touch with any of the other people?
No. That's
No.
why that'd be interesting to come to this.
Right. But you're on the internet though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
Because if you're on Facebook, you can look up the group and
Okay.
you can look
yeah.
up the group and join the group, and then you might be able to find some of the other people that were in the dowsing group and invite them.
Yeah. And as I said, I went to the Wilson Castle, and the group that had that videotaped, or we got a DVD.
Right.
Yeah, and I was in most of the
Yeah.
sisters says, you sure know how to get in the camera. But that was interesting because I guess people had the little girl playing the piano and things, and would definitely not against it, and somewhat believe in it. It's just the spirits. And I think they can be very informative and help you along in your own life here
Right.
on Earth.
Yeah. Well, I've been using the dowsing rods and the phone app, which presently I can't find my other phone that has the app on it, and I
You can't find
I can't find the other phone. This is like an emergency phone that I have with me, but I don't have those on this phone. I've got other ones on this phone.
So I felt with not finding my dowsing rods, because I was gonna go to the one you had before, but whatever happened, so I brought forth the dowsing rods I had, and some really nice ones, and I guess they just didn't want to come to the party, because they're not there. And we would do a lot of dowsing, finding things, and also work for water, get maps and find water things and stuff.
And was it because of a drought, or were you just doing it to do it, as far as the water?
To do it, and people would ask us. And my dad worked at Shelburne Museum when he was in college, and he would douse for water there.
Awesome. And so sometimes when you were looking for water, was it because maybe somebody bought land and they want to find a well, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we used it to find our septic tank because there was no record on the maps, our house maps where it was. So we had a person that was a dowser.
Yeah.
And then I was at a house that they were looking, and he pulled out his dowsing tools. Like, I could have done that.
Yeah. Try to make it brighter.
So again,
Yeah.
as I understand, it's energy. The flow of water, the flow of people, and things, and that's what.
So how old were you when you first started using the dowsing rods?
Probably 2030.
2030? 2030? You were in your 20s or your
years old.
Yeah. 23, maybe? No?
I'm older than I look.
I don't know. So your dad was doing it before you, and is that?
Yeah, my dad was college age, so
Right.
23, when he worked at Shelburne Museum. He was attuned to it. And we grew up in a family. My dad was in a bad accident. The sprayer fell on his leg. And my sister, even though he was out far into the orchard, she knew he was hurt
Right.
and ran. And also my dad encouraged us to take, and he helped us take the Silva method, and to use that in flying to check his planes visually, through.
Yeah. I'm
So it's
looking-
like, kind of grew up with the sense, and not to fear it or think it's
Right.
hogwash. So, some people you run across them and then they,
Like earlier in my life, I would have totally stayed away from it. But, when I was around 5th grade or something, my father's mother died of cancer. And I went into my bedroom upstairs in our apartment, and she actually came. And she spoke to me, and I heard her behind me saying, "Don't worry, you're going to be okay." When I turned around, I saw her walking away. It was her hair and everything,
Okay, so
and it was her.
believe
And I
her.
was really upset. I was like, but I want to talk to you. I don't walk away. And so I just really, I don't know, I wasn't really involved in paranormal stuff really, but I think maybe I've got some type of gift of them trying to talk to me, only because, and it's only mostly when I started using the equipment, but I was diagnosed with cancer in 2018. It was advanced stage 3 breast cancer, and it went into the lymph nodes. And then I was diagnosed again in 2020. So I had surgery, chemo, radiation, surgery, radiation, chemo. And then like the last time I was taking chemo was pills I had to take at home. And that wasn't bad, it was just, kind of crappy. I had to tell the cancer center, well, I don't even have an appetite. It wasn't, like I could just go without eating. But while I was going through the cancer treatment, I ended up watching a lot of paranormal things on the internet. And there's 2 guys, they're called Paranormal Quest, and those are the ones I started with. And now I'm friends with people that are paranormal investigators and that sort of thing. But like I also want to mention the coordinator, his name is Jim at the PEG TV. He contacted me because I sent him an email, and the email was saying, would you please put this ad up, on PEG TV. They have like events and things on the calendar and stuff that's coming up. And I said, would you please put something up asking people to contact this, I call it the squad, the group, and telling any stories about experiences that they've had in Vermont that were spooky or paranormal. And he didn't want to put something up like that. Instead, he wanted to put something up with an actual event. And so he put something up asking them to come here when I was here and tell their spooky story. When I do come here, I'm hoping to get information and then record it, simply because, the building is haunted. One woman that is...
there's been sightings,
Right, and
and anything where tragedy is, it seems to...
what is?
Tragedy. type
Tragedy,
things,
yeah. I'm also wondering about the water, and you're experienced with tracking down the water. Like, what if there's some type of an underground,
Yeah.
some
and also
underground
the,
water?
The
and then,
depth, the best way if you're digging a well,
right,
the lesser less,
yeah,
it's
so,
gonna cost you less money. And also, is it drinkable water? Is it enough of water coming through? It won't dry up. All these, we had questions that we would ask and go through.
right,
And as a group, we would do it to kind of,
yeah, to make sure
Get
that
the-
you're accurate. right?
as possible.
Well, it'd be great if you could, if you're willing to join the group and invite, if you can track any of them down or anything.
Yeah, I
just
haven't
invite
done,
them.
I'm so busy with
Yeah.
lots of things, so it's like the layers, and then I'll
Right.
shoot something more. and-
Yeah, but like, I've got a serious question now, because you just brought something, my curiosity, stirred it up. So what if there is some type of water connected to the spiritual activity here?
As I understand, there's a lot of water that basically runs under our city. That's why we
Yeah.
get flooded and stuff, because it's not on a solid base, it's more on water.
Right.
And I know a woman that used to travel from Killington, she could sense on the Route 4 water runways through.
Yeah, underneath the road.
Yeah. And so, and water sometimes takes energy just by flowing,
Yeah.
and,
And then-
in a more negative sense. So, and underlying, there's a lot of disgruntled, yucky stuff happening in Rutland.
Or like energy that seeps down because of negative things that happen.
Yeah,
you mean?
so that's
Yeah.
my kind of take on it.
Yeah.
I don't, just a personal observation.
Right.
It's-
And are you aware that anybody can reserve this room or the small room?
As
down the
long as
hall?
it's free and
Yeah,
open to everyone.
right, yeah. Yeah.
Because I know some groups, they want to charge this, but you can't do that if you use this room.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm
Right.
aware of that, yeah.
So another thing I want to ask you is about portals. Have you
About what?
portals? Have you or anyone did your group do anything trying to locate portals?
I think some of them did, the more experienced ones,
Right.
and it seemed a little scary to me. Say you went through the portal and you didn't get to go back, kind of feeling. So I wasn't sure I was as versed as I should be to step into a portal. But I am aware of them, of the
Right.
like the time traveling type of thing.
Oh, well, I wouldn't go through a portal, but
Yeah.
a lot of times when I'm using the phone app, the word portal comes through. And that makes me wonder, okay, so, some of the stuff that's negative going on in an area, maybe that's related to some angry spirit that comes and tries to stir things up. And,
Yeah.
they
Yeah, I'm sure some of the more experienced ones did dabble in that. One, his family was traveling in Europe and they didn't have the money to call.
Right.
So he arranged something. He was a renowned dowser, where something would happen in the structure when they arrived safely.
Right.
And sure enough, it worked. So they were
Right.
doing, different things like that. We did land things and healing. We did dowsing healing.
How does that work? Dowsing healing, how does that work?
Again, it's an energy thing and dowsing, and the putting our bodies or fluids in our bodies in the correct range, and we'd have little scales, or you don't even need that, little drawings, and make
Right.
sure we put our bodies in it's like the acid and alkaline system.
Okay.
And one of my teachers, he knew he was going to die of a brain thing, and he did.
Yeah.
Just kind of, all of a sudden, he just kind of passed. And,
Right.
Yes. And I think he would talk with some of the dowsers that had passed before him.
Right.
And there was one woman that was aware that her granddaughter was very intuitive to spirits. So there was just different things.
I want to ask them some stuff. Show me yes. Show me no. Is the person who was drowned still here? Show me no again, please. Are you willing to tell me who did it? Because you told me in the past that it was not an accident. Are you willing to show me yes if it was not an accident? Show me no, please. Was the person who did it someone that you knew? Yes. They knew the person. They knew the person that drowned them. Show me no, please. Was the person who caused you to be drowned, were they a family member?
No, it was, my hearing is so odd.
It was a family member that caused them to be drowned. Is that why you told me to back off and stop asking questions before? That's why they didn't want me to ask about it. That's what that means.
Not ready yet,
Okay.
if ever.
Yeah, I don't know.
And we learn to respect the wishes.
Right?
You know, it goes bad, can